Alright guys, welcome back to WCG 2013 Grand Finals for StarCraft 2. I'm Wolf, with me is Calder, and we are going into set 4. Currently Soulkey is up 2-1. One win left to take the whole thing.
He needs one more game here, and I jumped in a little bit late. We were still casting the Warcraft 3 finals, the last one for, I believe, not only for WCG, but for ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty epic. So only saw the last few minutes of game number 3, but that was already quite the treat. Now we are in the 4th game, and as Wolf already pointed out, Soulkey could decide everything here, and he is actually at this point staying at 10 supply here.
Yeah, 9 pool.
Yeah, he's going for the 9 pool.
And he actually could end the game with this if we see that very, very greedy late Forge build that Sora has done every single game, where he makes his Forge on 17 after he sends his probe out. If that actually happens, he may lose everything.
Yeah, and this is just him with the balls of steel in such a game, putting that on the table on a big map like Frost. The Overlord Scout goes to the bottom left, so he gets the best scout possible, and now everything hinges on how Sora opens up into this game. He goes actually into the gateway first here. And this is gonna get like pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean the gateway first it can and will defend this with good micro, but how many probes is he gonna lose? That's the question, because I don't think he's gonna be able to prevent all his probes from being lost. I think he's definitely gonna lose a few. The Zerglings are ready to pop out here. The pool finishes right on time.
Yeah.
And you know, like you said, he's lucky with the Overlord.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Overlord is also going to need a little bit longer to get in there, so he will have to move the Zerglings into the middle of the map first, and then he has to take a bit of a detour. So he still needs some time to go there. The question rather is if Sora is really getting units right away, or if he's trying to play a bit greedy, which he definitely could. This is also one of the maps where he could even go into a Nexus first, and maybe that's exactly what Soulkey was hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, oftentimes what Sora does is he just goes up, makes a late forge. If he sees a hatchery first, he cans, and if not, he gets a late forge.
Look how risky this is. There's no drone scout. He goes and splits immediately a couple of Zerglings. He goes cross spawn. The Overlord is still not at the bottom left, so in a second he will see where his opponent spawned. But he's losing a lot of time here, and that's time that he would have had with the drone scout that he did not send out because he knows it takes him so much. Now he knows bottom left immediately. All the Zerglings are going straight there. He has built an expansion behind this. So his idea here is to do damage in the early game. It's not designed to kill the opponent, because you know right from the beginning that he will probably not get that lucky. So you want to do damage, but we even have the Zealot building now for Sora, so he has a pretty decent position there.
He cancels the Zealot and goes into Stalker, and that could be a problem. And here come the rest of the Zerglings now running up that ramp. Sora sees it. This is his first glimpse of what he's up against. And he's a little bit stressed here, trying to get the Mothership Core. He's definitely going to lose some probes.
Yeah, canceling that Zealot is definitely an issue, because at this point, think about if those few Zerglings would have arrived a little bit faster, then he would have let that finish. But now he's losing time. He just started the Stalker. The Stalker will definitely defend this, but this is mining time lost. Now the Mothership Core is also gone. And that is, well, it's in the game, so he has to retreat. But Soulkey didn't really do anything with this, because Sora decided to go for this build and not for a greedy Nexus.
Yeah, and it's just bad luck, really, for Soulkey. He's been doing that same greedy build every single game. This game he decided not to. He actually may get a cancel on this Nexus. It's going to be close. He's microing around it. I don't think he can get it. It's so close, though.
Yeah, it's a really... Oh! No,
it's really close, but not quite.
But wow, that was quite something. If you would have just produced 2 more Zerglings, that Nexus would have had to be cancelled. So right now we have Sora with a very interesting response. He sees what's going on. He knows that there was a lot of economy sacrificed by Soulkey in the early game because of this opening, and he goes straight into a Twilight Council.
Yeah, Twilight Council comes up here. So I think we're going to see a blink timing attack, but it's so fast that it could also just be a really quick DT opening. The thing about going DTs against a Zerg player is, as you know, most Zerg players are expecting Stargate play and will get the Spore Crawls up early, so if he just does that blindly, then he's going to have the ability to detect those really easily.
Yeah, both would be really good for him right now. With Blink, you have to commit quite a lot. With the DTs, of course, you also have the tech and that you have to invest in. But we have the DTs right now that saves his own base a little bit, and he can still harass his opponent. Both.
And has a Stalker positioned to stop the Overlord from seeing the Dark Shrine. Although he actually just sent it down away. The Overlord may be able to see this. There's the Lair Tech coming out, though. I mean, this is not going to end the game by any means, but it could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, it definitely could damage, and as you already said, it's not going to end this game, but we have a Spore Crawler at the front, so he must have an idea of what's happening here, and with the Spore Crawler at the front, Soulkey will be safe against the DTs, at least in the beginning. There's one warp in pile already ready for Sora, just waiting for the Dark Shrine to finish, and as soon as that DT tries to walk in, the Queens and the Spine Crawler should be enough to just target it down before it gets past the Spore Crawler radius. So I don't think that ADTs are going to do too much. They give him a little bit of safety at this point, and of course can be useful later on in the game. And keep in mind that we still have 2 base versus 2 base.
Yeah, and I don't think Sora knows that Soulkey saw that pylon, so he's going to still make the first DT, but now the Zergling's there. He knows the gig is up, and I think that pylon is what actually why Soulkey made that Spore Crawler, because he was like, alright, I think this is DTs, nothing else makes sense here.
He's even blocking. He sends those Zerglings over, starts to block, and of course with the Spore Crawler there, the DT just gets one of the Spine Crawler attacks and immediately retreats. He already realized that this is not going to help him.
Yeah, we'll probably see Soulkey make one Overseer soon too, because he will eventually need that to make the third base. Otherwise, DT is just going to camp it and make sure that he can't. But the transition here for Sora is a little bit rough because he committed so much gas to those DTs, and now he has to make a choice. Does he go into the third base with the Robo, or is he going to try to hit a timing with +2 potentially in Blink? There's the Blink.
To be honest, I would really like to see him get a third base because he will have no problems getting that third base up. It would be the safer choice. He can go for aggression, but getting a third base is something that the Zerg cannot contest at this point. He's just about to finish his own speed. There's no third base coming up for him just yet, so if you get the third up at the Protoss now, you will find yourself in a very strong lead, economically speaking. I like the choice of Soulkey going into Swarm Hosts again, but I feel with the text that we have coming out of Sora, he has so many options here. He does not have to go into an attack, and that could backfire if Soulkey has a good defense, and he's playing very defensive now.
Yeah, he certainly is, and the Robo finishing up here, I think we will see a third base coming out very soon, and it's likely going to be the third base that's closer to Soulkey so that he can defend his third base and attack. Although, sends units down to the base to the bottom right, maybe just clearing out Zerglings. This pylon will finally fall. DT protected it for so long, but now the Overseer there, he can kill it.
Yeah, we have also the Bay now started, so everything is looking pretty good for Sora here. He should start his own Nexus very, very soon. There are the 400 minerals. Doesn't get it just yet, moves actually back a little bit. Here comes the third base for his opponent. Soulkey is finally putting down that third hatch after 10 minutes into the game, so very, very late here. Speed upgrade for the Overlords too, so that he gets a bit of a better idea what's happening in his opponent's main base. But still no third for Sora.
And the Swarm Host upgrade is almost finished, so we will see actually Locust coming down pretty soon. The first 3 Swarm Hosts on the way now. And yeah, the solo third base for Sora, I think he knows that Soulkey has a really strong army. And with the gateways he's adding, he's definitely just going to commit to a timing with maybe 1 Colossus, the Immortals he has, Blink at +2.
It looks like that. It's that much of an investment in the gateways and also the upgrades that he's now having in the +2 attack upgrade, finishing with an attack, that would be quite strong for him. I'm a little bit surprised for the reasons that I mentioned before. With the opening for Soulkey and him losing so much economy, he got a late third. Sora could have really tried to go into a long game. A third for him would have not been contested by the Zerg player. There was just not enough on the map for Soulkey to accomplish that. So he wants to try and end this game, but it's going to be difficult against Swarm Host. The numbers, of course, are going to be crucial. We even have the Spire now coming into play, and I'm very, very curious to see if Sora can actually make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Soulkey was so conservative about taking his third base that he had a lot of units. He had these upgrades out really early. Still a very strong push. He takes a Nexus with it. I think it's maybe just a fake, but I think Soulkey can hold this if he gets... If he's getting 1 more Swarm Host now, he's got 5. I think he can hold this.
Yeah, it's not the most amazing numbers in Swarm Host, but he should be able to push that back. I'm not quite sure if he can really hold that third on the other hand. It depends all on those Colossi, and using that Contaminate earlier was just so important. Hallucination immediately targeted down. He's losing the Immortals, and that's something he cannot afford against this army composition. If you're up against this many Roaches, losing the Immortals is just absolutely brutal, especially since the Spire is about to finish as well.
The next wave of Locust is going to push this back. He just can't fight against the Locust and the Roaches. It's just too many free units. It's bought him enough time to get his Spine Crawl up. He is going to keep the third base. He's getting +3. This little timing that he hit was not an all-in, but it was a very aggressive timing. But with the hold here by his Soulkey, he can take the fourth base, I feel, that's next to his natural really easily. It's so far away from his opponent, and just continue to make a few more Swarm Hosts.
And Soulkey is getting a really good position in the game right now, just because Sora... It looked a little bit like he didn't really know what he wanted to do there. The DT in the main base now is amazing. That's great for him. But earlier, I don't know, like taking that third so late, a push that didn't really work. I would have loved an earlier third base. I feel he misjudged the situation a little bit and didn't realize how far behind Soulkey was for some time. So now Soulkey on 3 bases with the tech that he has is looking pretty good.
Yep, the Locust here trying to hold down the fort. The DT distracting Soulkey for a little bit. Didn't have his army here, but now he just has so many Roaches. The Corruptor goes to the right. It forces a recall.
Forces that recall. 1 Stalker left behind. This is not an Ohana moment. And, well, with 3 bases, can take a 4th. Upgrades are going to be important. That's something where Sora still has the lead. But Sora is, I mean, he's in a lot of trouble. I have no other way of saying that. And it looked at the beginning like he was in a commanding lead.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble, and now he's facing actually a Zerg attack coming to the right side here. Sormos could root, and he gives so many Locusts out. Stalkers try to target one down, but they don't get it. There's Corruptors as well to help shield. The Stalkers blink in, but the Roaches are on top of them. Corruption going down as well.
And he's just moving up that ramp. He doesn't even care. At this point, he sends the Locusts over to the 3rd base, takes out the economy. The Stalkers are nearly gone. 100 supply up nearly, well, not quite 80 at this point. But if that 3rd goes down, then he's up with 2 bases against 3. And
I think that we have a WCG champion here. Soulkey is going to win this game. He's going to take the series 3-1. There's just no way Sora can come back. He's stuck on 2 bases. His wall is starting to fall. He doesn't have a strong enough army. He's trying to go for some counter harassment. It's not working. Here come the Locusts with the Roaches this time. Corruption on those Colossi. Corruptors going strong.
Yeah.
And that is going to be game.
I would be shocked if he can recover. And there's the GG. This is game. And Soulkey is the WCG 2013 champion here in Kunshan, China.